Damn you, Brad Keselowski. Bad Brad, as I like to refer to him, cost us multiple wagers last weekend in the Daytona 500, but the day was salvaged when Ryan Blaney wound up finishing the race fourth and therefore hitting our best bet of him finishing top 5. Now we move on to Fontana, California in the Auto Club Speedway for this week's Wise Power 400. Going with an old face and a new place for the first bet of my card, and that's Kurt Busch to top 10, currently minus 110 over at BetMGM. Kurt Busch's last 3 finishes at the Auto Club Speedway have been 14th, 6th, and 3rd, and he was one of the fastest vehicles here the last time they ran in 2020. Anytime you can get a veteran of his experience and with a good history at a specific track at or near even money, you should do so. Sticking in the top 10 for my next wager and going to Austin Dillon at plus 180, also over at BetMGM. Dillon, much like Kurt Busch, has quietly been pretty good at Fontana, finishing inside the top 11 in 3 of the last 5 races here. He finished 8th at Michigan 2 years ago and has an average finish of 11th at Darlington and Homestead since the beginning of 2020. Moving on to a couple of driver matchups I like, and starting with Kyle Busch to defeat Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott is by far the most popular driver in NASCAR, and rightfully so. He drives really well at almost every single track, including Fontana. He finished 4th here in 2020, but in the 3 years prior to that, he finished outside the top 10. Kyle Busch, on the other hand, has been the best driver at the Auto Club Speedway in the last 5 years and even the last decade, finishing top 3 in each of the last 3 races. Staying in the Busch family for my next driver matchup and going with Kurt Busch to defeat Kevin Harvick. These old men have both fared pretty good over at Fontana throughout their careers, but as I already alluded to, Kurt Busch has been pretty damn good over the last 3 races. Kevin Harvick has also seen pretty decent success, but the pace just isn't there anymore for the number 4 Stewart-Haas team. This wouldn't be a best bet show if I didn't try to predict the winner of the upcoming race, so with that said, Ryan Blaney at 12-1 over at DraftKings is the one guy that I'm willing to wager on outright this week. Blaney has 3 top 10s here in the last 5 races and was actually the second fastest car the last time they raced here in 2020. He almost took home the Daytona 500 at this same 12-1 number last week, and as one of my favorites to win the championship this year, anytime you can get him outside 10-1 to win a race is a good bet to me. It worked for me last week, so I'm trying it again. I'm going with Denny Hamlin to top 5 at plus 110 over at BetMGM. Denny Hamlin's last 3 finishes at Fontana were all 7th or better. Yeah, that's not top 5, but that at least gives us an indication that he's running at or near that position. Hamlin also is coming off of the worst Daytona 500 performance of his career, so you know that a guy who is a perennial championship contender will be on top of his game this weekend. And getting it at plus money to finish at a position that he's normally running near, that seems like a pretty good bet to me.